Hello, book lovers. Welcome back to Seriously Sandra, where we chat on all things books and the amazing authors who create the amazing and imaginative stories. Today, we have a treat. We have Stephanie Berchiolly, and she's here to tell us about her new book, Hexual Healing, which I just love the title. And I'm just so delighted. I was giggling through parts of it as I was reading it. And Stephanie has become a friend. And when I read this, I was like, Stephanie, I need you to come on and chat with me. So welcome, Stephanie, to
I'm so
me.
excited. I'm always excited to talk to you. So, I mean,
Oh my gosh. All right. So, for those who have no idea who you are, I could have done, by the way, this is why I don't do intros. Like,
hmm
I think they're so boring. This is
mm,
so and so, and she went to this school. She has a MFA. She's da 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 da
yeah.
da da. Blah, right? I want to know who you are, what made you write the things you do, how'd you get there, and that's what the viewers want to know. So, go ahead, go ahead.
Girl, like almost anything I do, it's either out of spite or I tumble into it. So, half my success comes from people telling me you can't, or people saying, "Hey, you want to?" and me saying yes. So, that's how I got into
Ah,
writing. In general,
really?
yes.
So tell me how. So what made you when you say it was out of spite? How was that happen? How'd that happen?
Well, not this in particular. Well, this was um, but basically, I was doing some screenwriting stuff. It's not spite. It was just tumbling into. Just so we're clear on
Oh,
this.
okay. Tumbling into
Just
spite,
tumbling.
whatever. Go ahead.
Yeah, just but yeah, like it was during the little panty we don't speak of.
Yep.
And there's a person I used to talk to on there, and I was like, "Oh, you're a writer? I write too." And I just sent her an article, did know who she was because I never bothered looking up anybody or trying to like I'm just like, "You're cool. I like talking to you. Life is good." And yeah, it wound up being that she was not just a writer, she was like a New York Times and USA Today best-selling author. And
Really?
she was doing an anthology, and someone had to drop out due to medical issues. They were okay. But she's like, "Hey, I got a spot. Would you like to write? I mean, I know that you can write quickly, because I didn't have the same amount of time that everybody else had." And so I was like, "Well, what is it?" And she's like, "Oh, it's paranormal women's fiction." And I was like, "What does that mean?" So she
Yeah.
gave me some books to read.
So you know what? Can I just stop you? Can you tell
Yes.
people who don't know what is paranormal women's fiction?
Of course, I'd be happy to. You know how when you see like the girls that get the magical powers and they're like 16 and 18 years old and everything's amazing, they're the chosen one. What
Yes.
happens when you got a little bit of life under your belt and you're like 40 plus and you get that magic coming up on you? You know, you might inherit somebody's bakery or you might just find out you just do magic because of an accidental thing that happens. So it's like, yeah, it's 40 plus year old women who are discovering their magic.
Oh, cool. All right. All right. Go back to the story. All right.
All right,
Yeah.
all right. So basically, like I read some books and that she recommended, and I was like, oh yeah, I'm in. And oh, the movie, oh, they did the second one with Bette Midler with the three witch. I'm having a brain
Oh,
fart.
Hocus
Practical
Pocus,
Magic.
Practical Magic.
That was the wrong movie. Yeah, I think she recommended like Practical Magic. Um, and I was like, yeah, I'm in. I'm totally in. I read like I think it was three books in one day, and I was just like, yeah, this is fun. This is cool. And so yeah, I came up with the character. Well, came up with more than one character, and I just boom wrote a book. Like I think it was like 2 or 3 weeks. I got the novella out, and we wound up hitting the USA Today best-selling list. Yeah, and then we got our rights reverted back because you know how when you in case people don't know, if you're in an
Okay.
anthology, a lot of times you have to give the rights to that piece to whoever's publishing it because obviously there's a little bit of an IP situation.
Got it.
So then you get your rights back and then you can publish the book yourself. So I almost immediately got the rights back and published the first book in that series. But this one is a little bit different, but we'll get to that later. But yeah, that's
Okay.
how I fell into writing, was just meeting somebody, thinking they were cool, finding out that I did not do like any kind of stalking to find out who this person was, and then they invited me to an anthology, and here we are today. I think I've had 5 books, 6 books, 812 books. I don't even know.
So you know what that tells me though?
Mhm.
Again, you got to shoot your shot. And so
Oh
you just,
yeah.
I mean, that's really what you're saying, right?
Well,
You
shoot your shot and say yes. Because I think a
as
lot of time, because I mean, like, hey, do you want to write a book and like put it out with people are definitely going to be seeing this. You know what I mean? It's like she was not a person who's, got 10 reviews on a book and nobody knows who they are. So it's
right.
like, yeah, you shoot your shot. And also it's not necessarily shoot your shot. I think it's also just be yourself, be authentic and make friends. Like when my old career before after I left IT, I taught people a lot about like changing careers, and one of the things was networking. Networking is being your authentic self and developing relationships and just building the the foundation of people that you kind of vibe with. And you never know what's going to happen. You never really know who that person's connected to. But if you have that authentic relationship with them, then anything is possible.
Nice. That is so true. So, question going back to this, because I'm so intrigued, because this paranormal women's fiction, and,
Mhm.
because it's now like set you up. Were you like interested in like writing about magical realism and powers and paranormal? Like, were you into this beforehand?
I remember way back in the long ago times, I went to a party in New York. We're not going to go into all the details of this. I went to a party in New York. I wound up staying in New York with the gentleman, and I was writing this book in a notepad, just like a regular notepad that you get over not quite the Dollar Tree level. There are more pages than that. But like, one of those old Mead notebooks with the three if you had 3 classes. I was just writing and
Uh-huh.
writing and writing. And she got a hold of it. And I was a publisher in New York, and she wanted to publish that book. And it was about magic. All I remember is it was about a girl and a tree and magic. That's I was like 20 or something. But yeah, it was like one of those things where it's always been like, I mean, writing was actually my salvation in general when I was younger. And because of
Mhm.
my background and some of the stuff that I had to deal with as a kid, because of my dwarfism and being in the hospital so much, the escape was through books. And a lot of those books, well, Stephen King was kind of not appropriate, age appropriate, but a lot of those books are science fiction and fantasy that just propelled me into a world where I could just live something that wasn't my actual life, because my actual life was kind of it hurt a little bit, and hospitals aren't
Mm.
fun. So
You
you need
know,
a little
and
something something.
no, that makes perfect sense. So it's like you built your own world in your mind from that.
Yes.
And
Hmm.
so, and that made you like propel you. So when she asked you to jump into this, that was an easy yes for you?
Yeah, well, also because I trusted that person, because again, I had built that authentic relationship and I knew that she knew what a good writer was, right?
Mhm.
So if she was selecting me, she didn't think I sucked. And then I will tell you this, my current editor, who I absolutely love, her name is Linda. I don't know if she wants to be talking about her, but when I sent her, because when you have a good editor, they want you to send your work to them so that they know like
Yes.
what level of editing they need to do so they can give you a correct price.
Hmm.
And a correct quote. And so basically I sent her mine and she's like, "Oh, yeah, you're good. Like you're not gonna." I was like, "Am I gonna be paying like, $500 a word because I suck so badly?" And she's like, "No, this will be easy to edit." And I was like, "Wait, what?" So I was like, "That means it's not bad, right?" And actually, this was right after I won a screenwriting contest. So I was feeling pretty good about my writing after I got all this affirmation, I should say. Not even confirmation, it was affirmations.
Oh my goodness. And those are real serious confirmations. You're right
Yeah.
that,
Yeah.
you're on the right path. This is what you're doing and doing that really well. Now, as you started, you did mention you have an editor. So
Mhm.
you are
A
indie,
human.
a human editor, right? And so you're indie and not trad. Do
Yes,
you want to talk about what
correct.
made you like want to do that?
Well, I can't get into too much detail, but I
Mm-hmm.
knew 3 people that went the trad route,
Mm-hmm.
and some of the stories they told were kind of potentially problematic. And again, kind of goes back to my dwarfism situation because all of my characters have something that makes them a little bit different by way of maybe having neurological differences, maybe having trauma like CPTSD type situation, maybe having physical differences. So there's always kind of something going on. And also because of the fact that a little melanated situation, sometimes I was afraid that my voice would be stripped out. And that voice is kind of specific because it's a culmination of all these things that I am. And so if I'm putting some of that into my writing and it has to get stripped out to be commercialized, I don't think I could handle that. So I'm not saying I'm not open to trad pub. It's just that some of these stories, they have to be told the way that I want to tell them, and I need that freedom and independence. And some of the stories, they could be more commercial. That's fine. But maybe someday, but like I would much rather control. And also, I don't know how many people know about how the publishing industry works, but from my understanding is you're going to have to do your own marketing either way. So if I'm going to put that much effort into it, because when I market me, I don't market like the book or the character per se. Like I want people to know who I am so that they can see like me on the page and feel like they're part of a family, because found family is almost always a theme that I have. So um yeah,
So
so it's
found
like,
family.
yeah.
And so that's always a theme. So tell us about your so I know like how you came into it, and tell us
Mhm.
about your theme, and then we can talk about Hexual Healing. And by the way, my favorite character was Gary. Um so
I love writing MT,
right.
seriously.
So I really want you to let the viewers know a little bit about more about your writing of found family and why you did that, and then also about Hexual Healing.
Yeah, like in general, I think one of I like I said, my childhood was kind of problematic, as some might
Hmm.
say. And so like I quickly realized that just because someone's blood doesn't mean they're family, and just because someone's
Mm.
not blood doesn't mean they can't be family. People that deserve your trust deserve your trust. Your trust is earned. It's not just given away and handed out freely to somebody just because they say that they deserve it. And so, like, a lot of the times my characters have to go through some, excuse my language, they got to go through some shit in order to
Uh-huh.
find themselves and to find their power. Because in my books, it's like you don't just magically find your power just because there's something that's like stopping you from knowing that you even have that power, something that's keeping you internally, keeping you from having that power, something that you have to grapple with internally in order to understand that you have that power. But that's the path that we all have in life, right? Like, we go through our youthful age and we're doing all this stuff, and then we hit like perimenopause, and that's when you start not giving it AF, and you're just like, whatever. It's like, I want to be hot, I want to be cold, I want. Because as women, we're in this society, at least, we are basically taught to deny a lot of ourselves in order to appease other people. And we get to the I don't give AF situation once your hormones are just like, so it's kind of like, yeah, we got to learn who we are to get our power and take away so that we can fill our own cups. And
Right.
whether that magic is like, superpower magic, or whether that magic is discovering your voice, or something just as simple as discovering a hobby that just brings you fulfillment and joy, and knowing that you can set that time aside and put everybody else's wants and needs away so that you can enjoy that. That's a special kind of magic too. So anyways, I'm done speaking, but
No, 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 no. It's a great soapbox to be on, because I was just talking with another friend,
Mhm.
and we were commenting that for a while, all the books had ingenue. They were these young
Mm.
20 somethings. They were
Mhm.
virginal. They're this. But now it's, women of 40 and up, women of a certain age
Yeah.
and up, or it's even senior women,
Yep.
which is even like, and, senior women kicking butt. So you
Hmm.
got all this stuff, which is such a departure from when we were younger, and
Yep.
everything was the virginal ingenue, and everyone was one way.
It's like,
So
oh, my 18th birthday is when I discovered my.
I discovered who I am. Oh my.
I didn't know
Yeah.
crap about who I was at 18. And I'm discovering that more and more each day after hitting 50. I mean, like, just it's just a thing, you know?
Yeah. I think that is such a powerful message that you have. And also, as you said, whether you're putting dwarfism, neuro issues in there, whatever it is for you, where as
Mhm.
people can relate. And now more and more people want to see themselves within novels.
That's the
And
thing, but the relating, that's the thing that's so
yes,
important because there's so many more things that we know about ourselves nowadays. Like, oh, you're weird. Oh, guess what? Weird might have been autistic. Weird might have been ADHD. You're not weird, right? And like, I don't know if you know about masking when you're neurodivergent. So like, what you're sort of like pretending you're putting on this face for everybody else so that you can be accepted, and it's different for women as it is for men because
mm,
men are allowed to just kind of, oh, he's really active. But as a girl, I mean, I was sitting there like, if you saw my foot revving and my chair was kind of wiggling, that was a little bit of my ADHD. Like I wasn't running around and doing anything. I was like,
right.
I have little tics and things like that. So like when you see those little bits of yourself or these little bits of representation, it really helps you get into the character. And again, one of the things that really bugs me is people that are like, oh, like I don't know if I can relate to a black character or something like that. And it's like we're all relatable in some aspect. Are we breathing? Are we on this planet? Right? I mean, it's like, okay, then there's something relatable.
Well, it's interesting when you have agents and publishers said, "Well, I couldn't really relate to that," and no
Hmm.
one ever said to us as people of color, "How are you relating to this white character?"
Hmm.
Right? So,
Never.
right? No one said, "Oh, it's should you can you relate to this?" So the fact that are so strong and passionate about that, I think is what makes your work so special. So
Mhm.
now tell us about Hexual Healing.
I don't even know what to say about Hexual Healing. It's like this good girl going through it in the beginning. She is just I just can't even. I really couldn't imagine her life. And then another thing that I'm doing is I'm writing sort of a parallel thing that happens before this series.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like knowing what she's gone through and then knowing how she's gotten here. She's finding herself. She's finding out that the things that she thought made her like wrong were actually
Ah,
something that is just something that she's going to have to accept. She can't understand it. She just has to accept it. She will never understand it, but she has to accept it.
right. But and also this is part of a shared world series,
It
right?
is, yes,
So do
with
you want
Robin
to
Peterman and her magic and mayhem. So yeah.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about that and how that weaved in and sort of
Oh
fitted.
yeah, it's so fun. So she has a Magic and Mayhem series, and it is an ass jacket, and Zelda is the main character. And so like I kind of have some of the characters come in. This is actually happening in ass jacket. I guess so we're saying that name. And so there, it's just like super fun because it's wacky, it's whimsical, it's like it's funny. Um, it's a little bit sexy, it's a little bit just like crazy, right? And so it's just so fun to kind of weave those things in. And for me, it was particularly absolutely it was amazing because I my bird died last year, and then like I thought I was like having the most severe depression because it was going on and on and on and on. And then Robin asked like, "Hey, would you like to be in this?" And I was like, yeah, I need something. You know what I mean? It's like I need a direction. I need to not be sitting here staring
Yeah.
off at the wall where her cage was. And
Oh,
and so like I mean, I was crying like every day for months and months and months. And part of it did happen to be perimenopause, but I wasn't aware of it. But this book gave us like I went back, I read her stuff, and I remember reading the first. I can't remember. I'm horrible. I sometimes I forget my own characters' names and book names, so please excuse me when I can't remember details about her stuff. But when I started reading it, I was brought alive, and like all of a sudden, I just had this idea of this character, right? And it was just I was laughing again. It was probably one of the first times I had consistently laughed. It was the first series of books that I'd read in months. And it was just such a fun ride. It was just so, and I was just so excited to be able to try to put that on the page. And I think that I was successful. I don't know, but
okay.
I just enjoyed writing it so much because her
So
world is so rich
so
and so
tell
fun.
for so the viewers know when they pick up this book,
Mhm.
what's going to happen with like what's going to draw them in? I know what drew me in a minute, but
Well, I want
like
to know what drew you in because I can't be objective, Sandra. I wrote the thing.
I
I know
know,
how
but
this
it's
all
your book.
ends.
I'll tell you, it was action packed and devastating in the very first three chapters, not even three chapters, in the first three or four paragraphs. Like,
Oh yeah.
right? It's like boom, 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 boom. And you're like, uh-oh. And she's, sort of down on her luck. She
Mm,
sort of has magic, but the sort of magic was kind of not working.
yep.
And her familiar was a snail named Gary. Was
And he's a snarky little SOB.
and he was annoyed with her. So she's asking for help, and he's like, "Yeah, what do you want?" And there's it. Yeah, I'm stuttering, right? Because I don't know what to say. I don't want to give away a plot, which is why I want you to do it.
That's why I'm so hard. I suck at that. That's why I'm making you talk.
No,
You hear me like talking in super general vagaries. There's a book and there's a character in it, and then there's some other people and they're in a town. If I give
and they're in
details, I'm like,
town,
ah.
and she may or may not have been cursed.
Oh yeah,
And
the Queen's a
so she may or
curse.
may not have been. She may or may not. Her magic might be fluky. And
Mm.
but the one thing I want everybody to know, or the readers to know, is you're gonna fall in love with Gary. And so I'm gonna ask you, because normally when we have somebody with uh, witchy powers, whatever,
Hmm.
casting spells, the familiars, they're always usually a cat, and
Oh
you
yeah, yeah.
a snail.
Mhm.
What on God's green earth possessed you to do a snail?
You
Like,
know, it's actually kind of funny. I was thinking about this when I was getting ready. So I I put something on Facebook, and some guy is like, "You stole this from SpongeBob." Because I was like, "What?" And so I went. I was a little old for SpongeBob, but
mhm.
SpongeBob, he's a sponge that lives under the sea, and there's a Squidward. I can't remember. There's a starfish thing. Anyway, so that he has a snail named Gary. I think that this was floating around in my subconscious when I was watching my friends' kids and they watched this show, because I had no idea until he said that, and I was cracking up. Because
Oh
you know how
my
that,
God.
because my first book, the character's name was, oh, I'm not going to say who, but one of the characters' names was different. And then I realized that I totally stolen it from, uh, what's it called? Uh, the one with Bowie and the girl and I can't remember. Anyway,
Yeah.
there's a movie. I'm thinking it's not Black Crystal. My goodness, I can't remember what it is. I love this movie.
No,
But anyway, David Bowie's in it. He's like the king of the goblins, and there's this girl, and he kidnaps the baby. Anyways, so I accidentally had named him after one of the characters in there, and so I had to quickly go and change one of the letters.
ah,
This happens to me like so often. I'm so bad with names. Apparently, I'm just like rifling through my subconscious and taking them from little snippets of things. But my thing was, it's like in my head, I just imagine this girl running around with some snail trying to figure out, and the thing about it is like the snail loves bling. So occasionally she has to like bling up the snail in order to make him happy. But this snail also has a backstory. Everybody's got a backstory.
and
Everybody's got secrets. Everybody's
and
got something crazy going on.
and you just gotta, like I said, you're gonna enjoy it. It's a fun read. It's light, it's airy. There is magic, there is mayhem, there is all kinds of stuff, not quirky enough to be interesting. And that's
Thank
what
you.
I loved about this book. It's because a lot of times it's like, yeah, is it believable? Again, if you
Mm,
paranormal women's fiction, you gotta like understand that's in the genre and believe that.
yeah.
What's coming up next for you?
Oh, so actually, this is the first book in a series, and due to some other issues with medical and everything with
Mhm.
the perimenopause, I wasn't able to join this earlier this year, but I'm back again with the second book in the series. So that'll be out. I think this is going to be October, so because that's the witchy season. So
Ooh.
it'll be out in October, and I also, like I said, I have a parallel series that's coming out that's her before this happens to kind of explain like what she went through. And yeah, so it's like I'm just excited to have this particular book come out, because it's going to be in Robin's universe, and it's just so fun. But
I
actually, it's a little
love
bit
it.
different, because the
Okay.
second book is it's still funny and a little bit light, but it's also a little bit not so light, because there's some internal struggles going on. Because I always got to have the internal struggles, because that's her
Right.
magic is kind of janky.
Yes. You want to say, I'm like, magic's the way I understood it, magic's supposed to work when you need it and when you're desperate. And
Hmm.
hers sometimes doesn't, or I'm like,
Yeah.
haha. Oh my gosh. So Stephanie, tell me, what do you do when you're not reading and writing?
Well, I'm chilling. I do a lot of weird stuff. Like I'm sitting here like eating. I mill my own flour. Like I'm like one of those old.
That
I'm not a homesteader or anything, but I do some weird stuff. And I have like commercial cooking equipment.
that's that's why I sort of asked this question. It was
Oh,
because right before we started, she said she was making her own pasta, and we were like,
yeah,
I
yeah.
said, "You really?" So so the
Yeah.
cooking is a passion?
Oh yeah, I'm super weird, but like I said, I grind. Oh no, I do use some store-bought flour, but a lot of times I grind my own flour. Like, yeah, the other day we had friends over and I made them some kimchi jjigae. I was gonna use my homemade kimchi, but I was like, I don't want to cook my homemade kimchi. I love my homemade kimchi better, so I was like, I'm gonna go get some store-bought for this. But it's pork belly, and then I roasted some barley so we could have a traditional barley tea with it. It's on a hot summer's
Whoa!
day.
Oh my gosh! Oh,
Yeah.
see, I love these are the fun things you get. You can kind of find all these little interesting things. So, since I'm going to ask the what questions I always ask, if you were going to a new library's opening and you
Hmm.
get to donate up to 3 books, not yours, that you
Hmm.
want to make sure all the patrons are reading, what 3 books are you recommending?
I just told you I can't even remember my own character names and book names sometimes. Oh, well,
All right, can you give me one?
yes. A Thousand Years of Solitude by
A
what's his
hundred years
name?
of sol 100 years of
100 years. Yes,
solitude.
100 Years of Solitude.
Gabriel Garcia
Yeah,
Marquez.
Marquez.
Yeah.
Yes. I love that, but we were talking about that actually before, I think. I was like, was that you or somebody else? I don't know. I love that book. I talk about that book way too often for somebody who can't remember the name of the book or the author of the
A
book.
thousand, a hundred.
That's I was like, wait a
It's
minute, I
all
think that's too many
relative.
zeros. But
All
yeah, I
right.
mean, after the poetry of that, I mean, it was a translation, but it was still
Mhm.
absolutely beautiful. Also, Dante's Inferno. I
Okay.
loved that when I was a kid. I read weird books when I was a kid.
Really? Okay. Now
I
you
actually
see,
wanted to learn like Italian, like to read Italian, just so I could read that book in Italian.
I okay, that's awesome. See, now
Well,
that's
also, my name, if you can't tell, is Italian.
the things you'd want to know. So it's like, aha. So to read Dante's Inferno and you see the things that we learn in here. I I never knew that. Dante's Inferno in Italian. I love it. Those are the things. And do you have a favorite children's book?
Oh, a favorite children's book.
I'm a
Wait,
children's
what is a
author. I
child?
always ask.
I
Yeah.
was reading my mom's college books when I was like 5, so I'm very confused because I remember reading like the Isle of or Tropic of Capricorn. I can't remember cats. It's like she had some of these weird books, and I was reading them. I remember Brave New World. I don't think that's a children's book. I'm trying to think like what is a children's book?
Oh my word. I love it.
Oh,
See,
you know
this
what?
is
One thing I will say, my grandmother got me the Grimm's fairy tales, and we
yes.
moved and I lost it, and am still devastated to this day because A, it was a present from her and she passed away
Mm,
way too early. But B, I loved fairy tales. I loved that book, and it was like the original German stories, so they were gory. They weren't the sanded down and
the Disney
yeah,
sanitized
they weren't.
version of
Now these are just like oh
which is people don't realize that
yeah,
the Grimm's fairy tales,
they
you know,
gruesome.
Grimm, they were
They were
grim.
grim. Yes.
They were
Oh,
absolutely grim. Oh my God. This has been so much fun. Where can
oh, it
people
has.
find you? Like when we want to stalk the author and hunt and what platforms are you? I want to know. Tell everybody.
Oh my gosh, I'm so bad with social media. I had a Facebook group and like I just fell off the face of the earth. But you can find me at stephanieberchiolly.com. I am on Facebook a lot. I'm hopefully going to be more on Instagram soon. I did TikTok, but I don't know. I'm thinking about starting a YouTube channel. I want to talk to you about that later. I think you might find it interesting. But I'm thinking about starting a YouTube channel. I'll have to send you links because I
All right.
just I
Well,
don't like
you know
social
what?
media. I don't like being out there, like, being forced to like put content out in order to feed an algorithm. I don't like being told what to do, so it
Right.
irritates me.
Got it. But I shouldn't say, but I'll say, and I
And
want the viewers to find your work. So
yes.
I will make sure and that we have all the links so that you can find Hexual Healing, add it to their Train to 40, add it to their
Yes, train bound to 40.
Bringing back to
Yes.
40. So adding those books on your list, putting it on your TBR. She has a new one coming out in October. And so we might have to have her back in October to talk about it, because I'm telling you, Stephanie, this has been absolutely thank you. Wow, this has been an incredible conversation.
You were too sweet. I can't
So
tell you how much
huge,
fun I'm having myself.
oh my gosh, huge
Please
thank
bring me
you
back. This is so
for
fun.
saying yes, right? And that's what I want. I just want to chat. Sometimes they're off the wall. They're not really, as you can tell, everybody, it's not really scripted. I started on one place where somewhere else, and that's what it's about. So I really want you to just come back, follow Stephanie, pick up Hexual Healing, and until next time, keep reading, keep dreaming, and keep having a magical day. Bye.
Bye.